If it had not been for the wind, the sea would be level, calm. But it was the wind. It was the problems. If it was not for the wind, trouble in your life, you wouldn't be depressed all the time. You wouldn't be stressed out. You wouldn't be worried. I don't know what your wind is. Your wind may be your job. Your wind may be your husband or wife. Your wind may be your children. I don't know what it is. But there's a wind that blows in all of our lives. The trouble wind. And Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And I want you to have peace.
All right.
So he speaks peace. Be still.
Yeah.
And I like that, because what that tells me is Jesus said you need to speak to your problems.
Yes.
Jesus said, I spoke to Pharaoh and I told him, let my people go. And what happened? He let God's people go. Jesus said, I spoke to Lazarus. He was dead for 4 days. I spoke to him and I said, Lazarus, come forth. What did he do? He got up in his grave clothes and walked out of the cave. Jesus is teaching a lesson here. But here it is, the text tells us that Jesus got a little ticked off at his disciples. Look at it, read it. He got a little upset. Number one, you came in here and woke me up, and you woke me up about something that's temporary. See, the storm was temporary, and the storm was not anything that Jesus couldn't handle. You know, that's what I like about the children of Israel. When they were in the wilderness, you know, look at the text. You know, Pastor look at some strange stuff, but listen, you ever thought about it? They built tents while they were in the wilderness. They didn't build any permanent houses. You know why? Because they knew that they were in a temporary situation. Come on, talk to me, church. They knew that God had something permanent for them. They knew that this was just a test that they were going through. They knew that God was going to bring them out and then give them a peace that surpassed all understanding. Church, your problems, your wind can be controlled by you if you ask God to speak through you. Folk might think you're crazy because you tell them, I don't receive that. I'm not hearing that. I don't believe that. I'm not going to receive what you say because I believe I can do it. I know some folk that have gotten jobs based on the fact that they were so confident that God was going to do it. The words were coming out of their mouth so confidently that the man gave them a job and they weren't even qualified. Speak it.
Yes.
There was another reason why Jesus was a little upset with his disciples. He was upset because I already showed you the 3 years that I was here on earth. You saw me heal the sick, raise the dead, give sight to the blind. You saw me, as I said before, bring Lazarus forth. You saw me perform all kinds of miracles. And you have the nerve to wake me up over a little windstorm. See, that's where we come to a Christian that's a baby Christian on milk versus somebody who's on meat. A baby Christian that you got to buy Pampers for versus a mature Christian who knows from experience. Church, if you have looked back over your life and you seen the things that God has brought you through, you ought not to have no reason to doubt that or whatever you're going through, God can bring you through it, and that ought to give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. This text, as I close it, this text does something else in verse 41, I believe it is. Because finally, they got it. They got it. For all 3 years, they had been walking with this man. They really did not know that he was God. Because they said, what manner of man is this? And I say to you this morning that if you examine your life and all that God has brought you through, you should have no problem being upset about a wind that kicks up in your life. You know, this too shall pass. The doors to the church are now open. The doors to the church are now open. Come by letter. Christian experience. Candidate for baptism.